2.7 miles beneath the Antarctic ice, an acoustic seal that held for 5,000 years finally fractures. The immense geological pressure gives way to open air. Azazel emerges from the dark void, and Nephilim, the son of the Watcher Gadriel, who taught humanity the science of war before the flood. He unfolds from his prison, stepping past an immortal guardian sent to stop him, and vanishes into the modern world. Weeks later, as the HFRS9 hemorrhagic virus tears through global populations, a man with no prior public record stands before the United Nations. He introduces himself as Dr. Ezra Adon, offering a flawless, free cure to every nation on Earth. Adon framed the end of the world as a logistics problem. He replaced the traditional imagery of fire and brimstone with a tailored suit and a professional medical briefing. For a man to address the UN, he needs a verifiable past. Dr. Ezra Adon has passed a modern, comprehensive background check despite having no recorded presence for 5 millennia. He activated a corporate network connecting shell companies in Liechtenstein and UAE free zones to Luxembourg nominee directors, routing to a hidden trust. $400 million surged through these channels, manufacturing 20 years of academic and financial history in just 11 days. To finalize the legend, the syndicates recruited actual researchers for a series of professional collaborations. These scientists believe they corresponded with a brilliant colleague and can testify that Dr. Ezra Adon's credentials are real. Azazel used the automated, trust-based mechanics of global finance to launder an apocalyptic asset into the system. The science behind Adon's cure relies on a molecular folding geometry that defies terrestrial chemistry. The protein synthesis is achieved through Sidonian acoustic resonance, an ancient technology used by the Watchers themselves. Every human who receives this protocol is injected with that resonance. Their biological architecture becomes permanently saturated with Watcher metallurgy. The cure is free, but accessing it requires enrolling in Layer 0, a global biometric digital identity grid. To verify distribution, patients receive a 1.3 mm quantum dot substrate implanted beneath the skin of their right hand. To manufacture billions of doses, governments issued massive bonds. This redirected global capital from agriculture into pharmaceutical infrastructure on a massive scale. Grain futures collapsed as the money used to grow food was redirected to grow salvation. Global famine struck, making humanity desperate for a solution. Azazel engineered a global starvation event through market mechanics, while simultaneously controlling the biometric system required to receive food rations. With billions of people metabolically dependent on his cure, and the global food supply in ruins, Azazel was ready for his final move. An orbital defense grid deployed. Using Watcher technology, this satellite constellation neutralized the strategic nuclear deterrence of every nation on Earth in a single heartbeat. This shift triggered a global capitulation cascade. 147 nations, realizing their nuclear arsenals were now useless, sought security through formal submission to the Central Beast framework. On the ground, Layer 0 became the only way to live. A single administrative flag for noncompliance triggers an instant account freeze, leaving a citizen unable to buy, sell, or even work. The world willingly traded its autonomy for the promise of health and security. While the world surrendered to this new system, a micro-scale resistance operated in the margins, led by the immortal guardian Cian Morna. Cian is operating under operational silence. Deprived of the angelic guidance he relied on for millennia, he falls back on Iron Age survival instincts and modern engineering to evade the system. He is supported by the Josephite Network, an underground supply line built to feed and shelter those who refuse the Layer 0 mark. Evading an orbital surveillance grid requires extreme isolation. The resistance utilizes deep geographic refuges, like this remote island, to avoid acoustic detection. They leverage uncorrupted space infrastructure via McNeve space systems, using secure relays to coordinate food deliveries to those locked out of the global economy. It is a gritty, defensive war. The resistance survives in the shadows of concrete tunnels and signal-hardened bunkers, fighting to remain invisible. Azazel understood that humanity would never be conquered by force. By weaponizing our basic needs and monopolizing the supply chain, he manipulated the world into building its own cage.